On the third day of the Cold War with my first love. He got a new girlfriend again. As usual. He swaggered in front of me, hugging his new girlfriend. I still treated him like thin air. But his new girlfriend this time was insanely jealous. She drugged my drink and took pictures of me while I was unconscious. When I went to confront her, my first love stood in front of her and said, "Serena, you're the one being promiscuous. What does it have to do with Delilah?" In the end, I couldn't bear the online violence and jumped off a tall building. Unexpectedly, having fulfilled my ansasham, I found myself back on the day when I was drugged. "Serena? What are you thinking about?" I felt a pat on my shoulder and came back to my senses. When I saw the face of my roommate in front of me, I realized that I had been reborn. "What's up?" I asked, pretending that everything was normal. My roommate's expression was hesitant, and her eyes were evasive. "How about we go out to eat? I don't feel like having food from the cafeteria today." She was lying. Following her furtive glance, I saw Narcissus and his new girlfriend, Delilah. They saw me too. The corner of Narcissus's mouth curled up. He hugged Delilah's waist and nipped at her ear. Delilah let out a soft exclamation, drawing the attention of the people passing by. She blushed and gently punched Narcissus' chest. Narcissus raised his eyebrows at me, his eyes full of provocation and pride. So childish. I had been with Narcissus for 3 years. Every time we had a quarrel and a cold war, he would wait for me to bow my head and admit my fault. As long as I ignored him for more than 2 days, he would find a new girlfriend. But usually, his new girlfriends only lasted for a week. So later, I got used to his behavior. Although my heart still ached a bit, I had already learned to act indifferent on the surface. When he got bored, he would dump his new girlfriend and come back to me, pinching my face and saying, "Serena, none of them are as sensible as you." In the eyes of everyone, I was the one who was submissive. As soon as Narcissus crooked his finger, I would obediently go to his side. And those girls who were toyed with by him also sneered at me behind my back. Only Delilah was different. In my previous life, on the first day she was with Narcissus, she showed her dominance to me. "Serena, I'm warning you. Stop having illusions about Narcissus. I'm not like other girls. I won't let Narcissus leave me." I looked at the shoes she was wearing, which were a matching couple's pair with Narcissus's. I used to have a pair too. But I thought those shoes rubbed my feet, so I put them in the shoe cabinet after wearing them once. Narcissus was angry that I didn't appreciate his gift and took the shoes back. I didn't expect he gave them to Delilah. I smiled and looked at Delilah. "You should be glad that I don't have athlete's foot." "What?" I didn't say anything more and walked past her. That night, Delilah used the excuse of having a quarrel with Narcissus and asked me to accompany her to drink. "Serena, our quarrel was all because of your shoes. If you don't come, I'll go to your dormitory to find you." She slurred her words on the phone, as if she had already drunk a lot. I was afraid that she would really come to my dormitory and cause a scene while drunk. So I went to the bar to find her. She handed me a glass of wine and insisted that I finish it. I didn't want to cause trouble, so I did as she said. In a daze, I heard Delilah say, "Take her to the hotel." "Serena, let's go." My roommate pulled my hand and urged. "Where are we going? Does his family own the cafeteria?" When it was my turn at the window, I bought the last serving of sweet and sarsaparilla. Just as I was about to take it, I heard a pretentious and melodramatic voice beside me say, "Baby, you that oughta low sorry. I want to eat sweet and sarsaparilla." I didn't know when, but Narcissus and Delilah had come to my side. Narcissus hugged Delilah and said to me, "Give this to me. Go buy something else." Right after that, I received a transfer of 50 yuan from him on my phone. "You don't need to give me the change." Just as he picked it up, I held the other side of the bowl. "Sorry. I'm not selling it." Narcissus widened his eyes, seemingly not expecting that I would go against him. After all, in my previous life, I was obedient to him in everything, and he was already used to giving me orders. The people queuing behind were urging, "Are you done buying? Hurry up. Come on. Dude. You're even snatching a serving of spiribus from a girl. Haven't you ever eaten meat? I raised my eyebrows and looked at him. Delilah tugged at his sleeve and whined. Baby. Narcissus gritted his molars. Serena. I said I want this. I've given you the money. Let go. I haven't accepted the money. And I'm not selling the spiribus. I'm warning you one last time. Let go. Or what? Break up with me? Narcissus. Is there anything else you can say besides that? And didn't we break up a long time ago? Narcissus stared at me intently. As if he wanted to bore a hole through me. Fine. Just as he was about to let go. I let go first and raised the bull upward. Ah, Delilah shrieked. The spiribus spilled all over Narcissus. He made a gesture as if to raise his fist, and at the same time, I leaned my face forward. Hit me. If you dare to hit me, I'll lie on the ground. Narcissus's face turned red and then white. Finally, heading so Delilah. He put down his fist. Before he could say anything harsh, I transferred 300 yuan to him. I'll compensate you for a new one. You don't need to give me the change. Delilah blocked me. Serena. 300 yuan? Are you treating us like beggars? Narcissus's clothes are limited edition. Really? I glanced at Narcissus sideways. Limited edition from Putin? What are you talking about? How could Narcissus buy? Enough. Delilah's words were interrupted by Narcissus. I sneered and left with my roommate. Delilah still complained a grieved lie. Baby. She said you're wearing fake stuff. Aren't you angry? Narcissus vented all his anger towards me on Delilah. Just because she said it. You believe it? Do you have any brains at all? Narcissus had been playing the role of a rich second generation for so long that I'm afraid he had even forgotten himself. All those brand name items of his were bought by me. At 9 o'clock in the evening, while I was watching a drama in bed, I received a call from Delilah. Serena. Narcissus is angry with me. And it's all your fault. If you don't come, I'll go to your dormitory to find you. She hiccuped ped, sounding drunk. In my previous life, she tricked me like this. But I was no longer the Serena who could be easily manipulated in my previous life. When I found Delilah in the bar, she was crying and laughing. And a guy beside her was comforting her. I recognized him at a glance. It was Lance. Just like in my previous life. He was being considerate, wiping Delilah's tears and letting her lean on his shoulder. I took out my phone, zoomed in the camera, and took a picture of them. When they saw me coming, Delilah immediately handed me a wine glass. You're late. You have to drink a glass as a punishment. I picked up the wine glass and caught a flash of disgust in Lance's eyes. It seemed that their trick hadn't changed. The moment the wine glass touched my lips, I noticed that both of them were staring at me nervously. I put down the wine glass again. I didn't have dinner tonight. Can I eat something before drinking? There was no waiter around. So Delilah asked Lance to go and find one. I took the opportunity to move Delilah's stool away. When she fell, she also pulled down a girl sitting next to her. And the two of them couldn't get up for a long time. I quickly swapped my wine glass with hers and then went to help her up. Lance came back with a plate of French fries. After eating 2 of them, I suggested we have a toast together. In order to make me drink, Delilah didn't hesitate and drained her glass in one gulp. The moment Delilah got drunk, I immediately pretended to be drunk and lay down on the table. Lance called Delilah Weiss and muttered, "What a mess." Finally, having fulfilled my, he took Delilah away. After they left, I immediately got up and followed them. When I saw Lance taking Delilah into a hotel, I took another picture. I posted both pictures on the school's confession wall. Let her also taste the feeling of being brutally attacked online. When Narcissus arrived, I had already been waiting in the stairwell for half an hour. The door opened, and Narcissus punched Lance as soon as he saw him, then pushed him aside and rushed into the room. After a while, I heard Delilah scream. She was crying and explaining to Narcissus. But how could Narcissus believe her so easily? After all, he was a Scorpio. I heard Narcissus roar, "Get away! Don't touch me!" Then Delilah cried out, "Lance, tell Narcissus that you like men. Right? I couldn't believe it for a moment. I only heard Lance reply in a deep voice. Yes, having fulfilled Lance Sasher. I like men. I still remembered that in my previous life. After Lance took me away in the bar. He mumbled in the taxi. Delilah. I'm willing to do anything for you. He clearly liked Delilah. What kind of ultimate devoted admirer who pretends to be gay for love? Just as I was about to leave, I heard Delilah say. It was Serena who drugged me. She wanted you to leave me, and did it on purpose. You mean you drank with her just now? I thought something was wrong. Before I could turn on the mute, my phone rang. I quickly hung up and ran downstairs. But Narcissus caught up and grabbed my arm. Serena. Have you been here all this time? He paused and then asked. Did you send me those pictures? I pursed my lips and didn't confirm or deny it. Delilah also ran over. Narcissus. Look. She's admitting it. Serena. Narcissus doesn't like you anymore. Why are you still pestering him? To drive a wedge between me and Narcissus. You actually drugged me. I drugged you? How about we call the police and let the police officers check the surveillance cameras? Hearing that I was going to call the police, Delilah got scared and acted copaceously with Narcissus. Narcissus. I feel so bad. Will you accompany me to the hospital? Narcissus hugged Delilah and said yes. Then turned around and warned me. Serena. We've already broken up. Please don't bother me and Delilah anymore. I glanced at Lance, who was standing there at a loss, and said, Narcissus. I find this gay guy more pleasing to the eye than you now. Lance, the so-called gay guy, looked at me in confusion. I said to him, Gay guy. If you're interested in same-sex love, contact me. I'm leaving now. Narcissus roared behind me. Serena. What do you mean? Stop right there. And Delilah tugged at him. Narcissus. I really feel terrible. Hepsich. She was really running a high fever. Delilah really had some tricks up her sleeve. Not only did she manage to appease Narcissus, but she also somehow managed to have all the pictures online removed. Narcissus also posted a photo of him and Delilah on his WeChat moments, officially announcing their relationship to the whole world. I saw his friends leaving comments for him. You're done for. You're in love. Is this your new sister-in-law? I woke up too early and actually saw Narcissus make an official announcement. Narcissus had never officially announced our relationship. Every time I asked, he would say, I don't like showing off my love all the time. Who doesn't know that you're my girlfriend? Gradually, I stopped asking. My roommate came to comfort me. Serena. If you're feeling sad, just cry it out. Cry? Sorry. I can't cry. I just want to watch them cry. One day, my roommate and I were about to go to the snack street outside the school for a meal when we saw Narcissus's grandmother at the school gate. When she saw me, she affectionately grabbed my hand and asked me why I hadn't been to their home for a meal for so long. I told her that I had broken up with Narcissus. Narcissus's grandmother sighed and said, You're a good girl. It's a pity that Narcissus doesn't have the good fortune to be with you. Seeing that she seemed to have something to say but hesitated, I asked her what had happened. Narcissus's grandmother said, Serena, could you help me find Narcissus? He's not answering the phone, but his father is in the hospital. I really don't know what to do. The old lady looked so helpless and pitiful that I still agreed. I found Narcissus in an internet CIF. He was playing games with his roommates. He liked to play the ADC role, and in the past, I practiced the support role hard just so that we could play the duel lane together. He had a bad temper when playing games, and I was scolded by him a lot. Now, his support was Delilah. But Delilah was really bad at the game. After Narcissus was solo killed for the 5th time, he lost his temper. Can you stop running around like a crazy bitch? When the enemy comes, you go up and get yourself killed. Can't you understand? Delilah also cried agreedly. All you know is how to cry. He stood up and pointed at Delilah and scolded her, which attracted the attention of the people around. His roommate then noticed me. Serena is here? Hurry up and log in. Come and play support for us. Narcissus looked at me irritably and asked, What are you doing here? Your grandmother has been waiting for you at the school gate for a long time. After I said that, I was about to leave. But Narcissus grabbed me. Wait a minute. At the same time, Delilah also grabbed Narcissus. Narcissus. Delilah spoke first. Narcissus. Don't be angry. I'll play well in the next game. Listening to her words, I was in a daze for a moment. I used to be so humble too. I shook off Narcissus's hand and said disgustedly, "Stop bothering me. I'm not taking on apprentices." Narcissus felt embarrassed because of my words and put his arm around Delilah. "Let's go. I'll take you to meet my grandmother." He looked at me playfully. I was very familiar with this expression. Every time he expected me to break down after being stimulated, he would show such an expression. Because he knew that meeting his grandmother was something I cared about a lot. However, that was for the me in the past life. Although Narcissus was very popular at school, his family situation was actually quite complicated. When he was young, his father hooked up with a rich woman and divorced his mother. His mother didn't want him either. Narcissus was brought up by his grandmother since childhood. The rich woman didn't allow his father to give Narcissus much money. Apart from the 5,000 yuan monthly living expenses, Narcissus could only occasionally drive his father's sports car to show off. Once, after a fight with his father, he hugged me and cried, "Serena, only you and Grandma are the best to me. Never leave me." In my previous life, I was brainwashed by online novels. A useless father, a missing mother, an old grandmother, and a broken him. I felt so sorry for him. I often bought a lot of tonics to visit his grandmother, thinking that I was special to him. As a result, I was played around like a dog. Delilah was overjoyed and said, "Really? Will Grandma like me? Isn't it too sudden?" Section id article truck Narcissus responded to Delilah, but his eyes were on me. "Don't worry. As long as it's someone I like, Grandma will like her too." I remembered the anxious look of the old lady and couldn't help reminding Narcissus, "Your grandmother is looking for you because of an urgent matter. It's not suitable to take her there." Narcissus lowered his head and seemed to be thinking. Seeing Narcissus hesitating, Delilah put on a show of being aggrieved and weak in a shrill voice. "Serena, you tried to sow discord between me and Narcissus before. And now you're trying to stop Narcissus from taking me to meet his grandmother. You've already broken up. Please stop interfering in my and Narcissus's business." She deliberately raised her voice, which made the people around point and whisper, "This woman has such a thick skin. She just won't go away after the breakup. This man is so useless. He doesn't even help his current girlfriend." Narcissus was very vain and couldn't stand being mocked. He frowned and growled at me. "My business doesn't concern you. Get out of here right now." I didn't want to waste my breath on him. I left with "your father is in the hospital" and turned around. "Serena." Narcissus grabbed me, looking a bit unnatural. "Come with me." I laughed. "What? Don't have the money to pay for your father's hospital fees?" Actually, I knew that he was afraid that if I didn't go, his father would be unhappy and cut off all his financial support. After all, his rich stepmother was doing business with my family. Narcissus ignored Delilah, who was tugging at his sleeve and acting quite the sly, and questioned me. "Have you had enough? Have I had enough?" "Narcissus, you're so funny. If I really wanted to cause trouble, I should go and tell my father to terminate the cooperation with Claire and tell Claire that it was all your fault. Then your father would be kicked out, and I'd like to see what you'd use to show off. You want to ruin me? Just try it." Narcissus's eyes were blood red, and his expression was as if he wanted to devour me alive. "Let's just try." I turned around and left. Narcissus wanted to chase after me, but Delilah held him tightly. Suddenly, there was a crashing sound. Delilah was pushed by Narcissus onto the computer desk, knocking over two monitors. My eyebrows twitched, and I ran as fast as I could, but I still couldn't outrun Narcissus. He grabbed my hair and dragged me outside. My scalp was in excruciating pain. I screamed and asked him to let go. I heard Narcissus's roar above my head. "If you ruin me, you won't live either. Let's die together." Everyone in the internet CAF was scared, and for a moment, No one came to rescue me. Just as Narcissus was about to drag me out of the door, I casually grabbed the thermos on the bar and smashed it on the back of Narcissus' head. My father arrived at the hospital with Claire's driver. Seeing that I was okay, my father let out a long sigh of relief. Claire's driver went to check on Narcissus' condition. Narcissus had more than a dozen stitches on his head and was getting an IV drip. After confirming that Narcissus was out of danger, he paid the bill and left. Before leaving, he also showed concern for me. Serena, President Claire has instructed that if Narcissus bullies you again, she'll cut off all of Narcissus's financial support, including his tuition fees. Leaning in my father's arms, I caught a glimpse of Narcissus standing at the door of the infusion room from the corner of my eye. He looked like a stray dog. After we got home, my mother was really angry with my father and insisted on sending me abroad. We can't let Serena and that crazy guy be in the same school anymore. In the past, I refused to go abroad no matter what. All because I didn't want to leave Narcissus. When my mother looked at me again, I nodded with a smile. When I went back to school on Monday, I saw Narcissus's father at the school gate. He was holding a gift and bowed to apologize to me. Serena, don't worry. I'll definitely teach that brat a good lesson. I didn't accept the gift and pretended to be curious and asked, how will you teach him a lesson? Will you just scold him a few words or cut his monthly living expenses for a month? Mr. Narcissus's father. If I hadn't grabbed that thermos, who knows what Narcissus would have done to me? His father obviously didn't expect me to be so merciless. After all, I used to be gentle and obedient and never cared about anything. Then, how do you want me to teach him a lesson? I rubbed my palm and said, Mr. Narcissus's father, I was too well behaved before. I've never hit anyone and want to try what it feels like, but I'm afraid Narcissus won't let me hit him obediently. His father looked shocked and said, haven't you already hit him? Then he resignedly said, okay, as long as you can make your father not terminate the cooperation, I guarantee that the brat won't fight back. The last time he made me lose face in the internet CIF. This time I'll make him feel extremely embarrassed there too. When we found Narcissus, he was playing a ranked game. His father motioned for 2 bodyguards to go over. Narcissus was held up and said, who the hell, Dad? His father ignored him and said to me, Serena, go ahead. Serena, what are you doing? Narcissus struggled, but was firmly held down by the bodyguards. I walked over and slapped him hard. Pa. It was so satisfying. When I slapped someone, my palm went numb, and it felt like all the blood in my body rushed to my head and then burst out. Before he could react, I slapped him several more times. Left and right. Narcissus was stunned by my slaps and couldn't say a word. I stared at him. My eyes were sore, and tears slid down the corners of my eyes. These slaps are for the 3 years of my wasted youth. Once I thought you were just playful and would come back to me after you had enough fun. But my constant indulgence only made you hurt me more recklessly. It really hurt when I fell, but you didn't care at all. Serena, what are you talking about? Where did you fall? It doesn't matter anymore. I interrupted him. Narcissus, I won't do stupid things for you anymore. From now on, we're just strangers. I left the internet CIF resolutely. And Narcissus shouted my name hark, rending lie behind me. He's really a good actor at playing the role of a loving person. But I won't believe him anymore. Narcissus took a leave of absence from school. I heard that after I left that day, Narcissus fainted in the internet CIF. When he woke up, he went crazy looking for me and was locked at home by his father and not allowed to go out. But all these have nothing to do with me. I'm preparing to go abroad on one hand and indulging in various social activities on the other. In the past, I only had Narcissus in my heart and eyes. Knowing that he was jealous and narrow-minded, I almost cut off contact with all the boys. I even avoided the girls he didn't like. There were very few friends left around me. Now I have endless parties, big and small, and I'm extremely busy every day. Narcissus used to PUA me, making me think that no one would like me except him. But these days, I've met many new friends and received confessions from several boys. One of them is Cedric, a classmate of Narcissus's in the same department. He said, Serena. Actually, I noticed you when you entered the university in your freshman year. But I was always too afraid to ask for your contact information. Then Narcissus. I smiled and showed him my mobile phone QR code. It doesn't matter. It's not too late to ask for it now. Cedric has a completely different personality from Narcissus. He is gentle and polite. He always asks for my opinion before doing anything. He'll go to the study room to reserve a seat for me and bring me ginger syrup and painkillers when I have menstrual cramps. Hearing that I'm going abroad, he also carefully helps me organize the exam materials. I've never been treated so attentively before and often feel uncomfortable. The harm that Narcissus brought to me in the previous life still lingers. And I still can't give Cedric an answer. But he said, "It doesn't matter. Serena. I'm willing to be good to you. You don't have to feel burdened. Or do you hate me? So you don't want to accept my kindness?" I waved my hands in a hurry. No, I just. Alright. Cedric noticed my embarrassment, bent down, and held my shoulders with a soft laugh. "Since you don't dislike me, when are you going to give me an official status?" The wind ruffled the hair by my temples, making my cheeks itch. I lowered my head and tucked the hair behind my ears, only to feel that my ears were slightly hot. Cedric. What are you two doing? I turned around in shock and saw Narcissus standing not far away. Cedric straightened up and said infuriately, "What we're doing doesn't seem to be any of your business." Narcissus didn't respond to him. Instead, he walked straight towards me. And the pain in his eyes was impossible to ignore. He suddenly pulled me into his arms. I remember everything now. "Serena. I was wrong. Can you forgive me?" I wasn't surprised that Narcissus remembered his past life after being ill. But he thought he could simply gloss over it by saying he was wrong. There's no such easy thing in the world. I broke free from his embrace. And seeing this, Cedric immediately stepped in front of me. "Get out of the way." Narcissus growled. Cedric didn't move at all. "Narcissus. What right do you have to ask me to move aside?" Narcissus's gaze passed over Cedric. And his eyes looking at me were full of pleading. "Serena. Give me another chance. We agreed to get married after graduation. Have you forgotten?" Hearing him say this, I remembered that once I overheard him on the phone. He sneered at the person on the other end of the line and said, "I haven't had enough fun yet. How could I get married right after graduation? I'll think about it when I'm too old to have fun." And now he actually had the nerve to mention it. I patted Cedric's shoulder. And he turned to look at me. "Cedric. I've thought about your question just now." Cedric was stunned. "You mean?" I smiled and hooked my arm around his neck, planting a kiss on the corner of his lips. "From now on, I'm your girlfriend." As soon as I finished speaking, Narcissus swung his fist at Cedric's face like a madman. Cedric reacted quickly, dodging to the side, and then kicked Narcissus down. I didn't expect that Cedric, who looked gentle, was so good at fighting. I didn't stop Cedric. Just as he was about to kick a second time, someone suddenly rushed out and hugged Narcissus tightly. "Stop fighting," it was Delilah. Narcissus pushed her away and defiantly challenged Cedric. "Come on. Keep going." Delilah crawled over and hugged him again, crying out, "Narcissus. Do you want to have another leg broken?" Only then did I remember that Narcissus's leg seemed to be a bit lame just now. "Serena." Delilah looked at me. "Narcissus had his leg broken by his father just to come out and find you. Why are you being so heartless?" "Me? Heartless?" I laughed bitterly. "You should remember how you to hurt me. Even if you don't, he does." Delilah was confused. "Remember what?" Narcissus pushed Delilah away again. "Didn't I tell you to stop pestering me? Get lost." I didn't want to be the center of attention anymore, so I took Cedric's hand and left quickly. "Serena." Narcissus called out to me. "I won't give up." We walked a long way before I let go of Cedric's hand. "Sorry. I was in a hurry just now." Why are you saying sorry?" Cedric regained his gentle look. "Do you want to go back on your word? Or do you still like Narcissus?" "No." I explained urgently. "Because I'm going abroad soon. And the two of us. I don't like long-distance relationships." "Is that all?" Cedric asked. I nodded. Maybe you think it's no big deal. But I'll really feel insecure. Cedric gently took my tightly clasped fingers, slowly raised them, and brought them to his lips. Serena. I don't like long-distance relationships either. His gaze was burning hot, and just one look was enough to make me catch my breath. His soft lips pressed against my fingertips, making my heart tingle. We'll go abroad together. Wherever you are. I'll be there. I didn't take Narcissus's words. I won't give up, too hard. Anyway, heading fulfilled my obsession. I was going abroad with Cedric soon. If he kept pestering me, I could just ignore him. He showed up on time every day downstairs in my dormitory, offering to help me carry my books and accompany me for breakfast. Serena. I was wrong. Please give me another chance. The most frequent sentence I heard recently was Narcissus's apology. He even had the nerve to follow me and Cedric around. When we had a meal, he sat beside us. And when we went to the study room, he still sat beside us. Cedric told me not to pay attention to him. If he wanted to watch, let him watch. Cedric kissed me and hugged me in front of Narcissus, provoking and demonstrating to him. This scene was so familiar. It was something Narcissus had done to me many times. I smiled and responded to Cedric, feeling a sense of revengeful pleasure in my heart. Delilah didn't give up on Narcissus either. She still didn't understand that Narcissus had never truly liked her. Narcissus had never truly loved me either. He only loved himself. All his control, inducement, and suppression of me were just to make me an obedient puppet. What's more, I was rich. Of course, Narcissus didn't want to let me go. But he could discard Delilah at will. Delilah stopped Narcissus on the road more than once, crying and asking him why. You clearly said you only liked me. Why don't you want me anymore? And Narcissus just lifted his eyelids and glanced at her. I just find you disgusting now. Don't let me see you again. His gaze rested on my face for a moment. And then he grabbed Delilah's collar. Delilah let out a frightened cry. Narcissus's voice was low and cold. And don't ever show up in front of Serena again. Otherwise, next time, I'll strip you naked in front of the whole school and let everyone see what a bitch you are. Narcissus let go of his hand, and Delilah fell to the ground, trembling and unable to say a word. I watched this scene by the side and curled the corner of my mouth. Narcissus looked at me as if trying to please me, as if asking if I was satisfied. I just thought it was ridiculous. Narcissus. You two owe me a life. Narcissus froze in place, and I brushed past his shoulder and left. At noon 2 days later, Delilah found me in the cafeteria. She rushed up and started tearing at my clothes. Why are you doing this? Why? Cedric came over and pulled Delilah away. I'm fine. I waved my hand at Cedric and asked Delilah. Tell me clearly what I've done? Delilah stared at me and shouted. Stop pretending. Didn't you ask Narcissus to beat up Lance? When did I? I suddenly remembered the words I said to Narcissus 2 days ago. He actually went to take revenge on Lance. He had some guts after all. Did he kill him? I asked. What? Delilah was stunned. I said. Did he kill someone? Which one of them died? You. Serena. How could you say such a thing? Delilah looked at Cedric. You still want a woman as vicious as her? She was trying to drive a wedge between me and Cedric again. I just opened my mouth, but Cedric said first. I do. I like her toughness. I looked at Cedric in surprise. He seemed to be serious. You have such a hobby? I asked. Cedric raised his eyebrows. I have a wide range of hobbies. Narcissus was expelled from school because Lance was seriously injured. He stayed in the ICU for a week before being out of danger. Narcissus's father wanted a rich woman to pay to bail Narcissus out, but the rich woman refused. So Narcissus ran away. But all of this had nothing to do with me. The TOEFL exam was coming up soon, and Cedric and I were studying hard every day. One day, there was something going on at Cedric's home, so he went back halfway. I stayed in the study room alone until 10 o'clock at night. On this late autumn night, the chill seeped into my bones. The streetlight flickered on and off. For some reason, I felt a strong sense of unease in my heart. Suddenly, There was the sound of leaves being crushed behind me. The next second, I was covered my mouth and dragged into the dark grove. Serena. It's me. It was Narcissus. I just want to say 2 words to you and then leave. Please don't shout. Okay? I nodded. He let go of his hand, turned me around, and pulled me into his arms. Serena. I miss you so much. For my own safety. I patiently soothed Narcissus. How dare you come to the school? Aren't you afraid of being discovered? Hearing me say this, Narcissus was very happy, thinking that I was concerned about him. Serena. I'm leaving. What do you mean? Where are you going? Abroad. To Southeast Asia. How are you going? Steal. Yes. So, Serena. I came here to ask you for a favor. Can you lend me some money? There was only a faint light in the forest, and no one could clearly see the person opposite. So Narcissus couldn't see me at this moment at all. I silently grinned. Tell me your address, and I'll bring the money to you after I get it. I carried a snakeskin bag and got off the car outside an urban village. The plainclothes policemen accompanying me scattered around. In the car, Cedric looked at me uneasily. Serena. Let me go instead. I smiled and soothed him. Don't worry. I'll be fine. I turned around, looked at the narrow and crowded road in front of me, and walked in. The courtyard where Narcissus lived was very hidden. If he hadn't told me to go through a noodle shop, I wouldn't have been able to find it at all. I went to the last room on the 3rd floor and knocked on the door. The curtain in the room moved slightly, and the door opened. Narcissus grabbed my arm and pulled me inside. Was no one following you? He asked. I nodded, no. If he had looked carefully into my eyes, he would have noticed the excitement hidden in them. I took the initiative to open a slit in the bag for him to take a look, and then immediately closed it. When you leave, will you come back? I asked. Narcissus suddenly hugged me. Serena. Come with me. What a joke. I was here to send him away, not to go with him. Just as I was about to speak, Narcissus suddenly pulled me to hide. Someone is coming. Shadows of people were moving outside the window, and the plainclothes policemen surrounded the place. Jump out of the window, Narcissus said and ran towards the other side. Narcissus. I grabbed the handle of the woven bag, trying to delay the time as much as possible. Serena. What are you doing? Let go. At the same time. Bang. The door was kicked open. The plainclothes policeman rushed in, and Narcissus tried to snatch the bag from my hand with all his strength. Rip. The woven bag was torn open, and the papers inside fluttered down from the sky like pure white snow. Serena. You lied to me. Narcissus roared with his eyes wide open. Because of you, I died once. Why do you think I would really help you run away? Narcissus. I wish you were dead. Narcissus ran away again. He broke the window and jumped down from the 3rd floor, crossed one connected rooftop after another, and disappeared into the crowd. My parents were very panicked when they heard about it. They blamed me for acting on my own and were afraid that Narcissus would come to take revenge on me. Anyway, your overseas study procedures are all done. Don't go to school recently. We'll directly send you to the airport then. With a wave of his hand, my father put me under house arrest. I wasn't even allowed to order takeout, for fear that Narcissus would disguise himself as a delivery man. After hearing this, Cedric volunteered to bring me delicious food every day. I was also happy to lie around at home. One night a week later, I was playing games when I suddenly received a call from my roommate. Serena. Come to school quickly. Narcissus is going to jump off the building with Delilah. I bounced up from the bed. What did you say? Narcissus said he wants to see you. After my roommate finished speaking, the counselor snatched the phone. Serena. Come to school immediately. Don't worry. We will ensure your safety. Come and soothe Narcissus's emotions and ask him to release Delilah. I changed my clothes and rushed out of the bedroom. Before my parents could react, I had already opened the door. Cedric was standing at the door, about to knock. Serena. Don't go. Cedric almost pleaded. I took his hand. Then will you accompany me? The wind on the top floor was very strong. After winter began, the temperature dropped sharply. Delilah's sobbing cries merged into the howling north wind, enveloping the entire rooftop in fear. Teacher, hadn't fulfilled my obsession. Teacher. Save me! Delilah had already collapsed. With Narcissus choking her neck, she was slumped on the ground, and Narcissus was holding a knife against Delilah's side neck, having already pierced the skin. Tell Serena to come over. Narcissus roared. Just then, I had just reached the rooftop. Hearing Narcissus's voice, I motioned for Cedric to let go of my hand. It's okay. I walked over and stopped about 2 meters away from Narcissus. I'm here. Let Delilah go. Narcissus didn't move. Serena. I just want to take another look at you. He looked haggard. With messy stubble. As if he had aged 10 years. Serena. I never thought we would end up like this. I thought that this time, just like before, you would wait for me. Until I had that dream. It was so real. I saw your blood flowing out of your eyes, nose, ears, and mouth, and you just looked at me like that. That wasn't really a dream, was it? So this time you won't forgive me again. Right. I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and the intense pain of being on the verge of death in my previous life suddenly hit me. Yes, heavily too. I can't convince myself to forgive you. But I don't want to pursue it anymore either. I'm going abroad soon. I won't see you again. And I'll start a new life. Narcissus began to laugh, louder and louder, until tears came to his eyes. Serena. Only at this moment do I realize how stupid I am. You were so good to me. I'm really so stupid. I hate myself so much. I ruined everything with my own hands. As he spoke, he suddenly became furious again and stepped back while holding Delilah. It's all because of this bitch. It's all because of her. Ah. Narcissus. What exactly did I do wrong? Delilah shrieked. You killed Serena. Delilah was choked by Narcissus and coughed, asking intermittently, when did I kill her? Narcissus started crying again. His mental state was already abnormal. Why did I have to remember it? Why can't she act like nothing happened? The counselor whispered and urged me, quickly find a way to make him release Delilah. I took 2 steps towards Narcissus. But he stopped me with a shout, Stop. Serena. Don't come any closer. Don't come near me. He lowered his head and said something in Delilah's ear. Delilah shook her head in horror. No. Narcissus. No. The next second, Narcissus suddenly picked up Delilah and stood at the edge of the rooftop. No one had time to react. Before they fell, I heard Narcissus say, Serena. I'm giving her back to you. A few snowflakes fell from the sky. And then more and more fell. Cedric was holding me and saying something. But I couldn't hear clearly. I stretched out my hand, trying to catch the snowflakes. But they melted quickly in the palm of my hand. I didn't look at their final appearance. Because I knew that it was really ugly. A few years later, Cedric and I graduated and returned to our home country. Our 2 families successfully set the date for the wedding. When I was trying on the wedding dress, Cedric hugged me from behind and kissed my shoulder gently. Serena. You are the most beautiful bride. At that moment, I was a bit dazed. There was once a boy who hugged me and said that one day he would make me the most beautiful bride.